Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 1987's Boiling Desires. Boiling Desires. This is part of the Peakorama Big 2-unit show from Vinegar Syndrome, where they have a double feature with a movie that I've already reviewed in this YouTube page called Love Champions. So check that out. It's with Danielle on the cover there. I purchased this about a couple months ago, and they're all available on their website. You can also get them on Amazon. Price check, look around. Sometimes they have great sales too. Vinegar Syndrome. Buy them used. They're everywhere. I think Barnes & Noble even sells these and have no idea they're X-rated. This is the back of the DVD here. And for our purposes, here are two shots for the movie that we're looking at. Right here. This is Boiling Desires from 1987, directed by Carlos Tobalina, who has also directed Love Champions and Three Ripening Cherries and My Lynn vs. Serena. Check it on this YouTube page. I have tons of other films from him that he has reviewed on here, and many, many, many more to come. Now, Vinegar Syndrome will focus a lot on various directors, and he is one of them. And so we're going to be looking at Boiling Desires. Look at this beautiful poster art. Sometimes the poster art for these Peakorama double features and these DVDs are very hard to find. Sometimes they're extremely hard to find. You can even Google image the films and you still can't find the poster art. So do yourself a favor and take a picture of these from the cover and blow them up so you have them on your computer or something on the wallpaper if you really want to kind of archive these beautiful posters. So let's get into Boiling Desires, 1987. It's 81 minutes long. Let's go. Boiling Desires deals with two friends who are living together in a very nice home, might I add. Beautiful home. Carpeted staircases, large windows. And they're in this home. They live together as roommates. And they're definitely looking to explore their sexuality. Now, one more than the other, because one is not a virgin anymore, but the other one is still a virgin. And so they are now at the cusp of the one in experiencing what sex is at all beyond her masturbating, and the other experiencing it more deeply than what she's already experienced in the past. This is Boiling Desires, where we're really looking at the boiling desires not only of these two girls, these two great friends, best friends, but also the desires that they have as they meet two guys and the desires those two guys have for these two girls. At its core, Boiling Desires is a movie about two friends' budding sexuality. Let's get into Boiling Desires, folks. First and foremost, we're going to look at the music for this film. And the music for this film is wall to wall, as I like to say. In Carlos's films, he will really take, he'll have lots of sex scenes and long sex scenes, and a lot of the bulk of Boiling Desires is sex. And because of that, we will also get a great set of music in this film. What kind of music, you add? Well, some very interesting stuff going on here, folks. We have, and I wrote down some things, we have ballads, 80s, 70s feels, synth, slow, atmosphere, emotional, Western? What? Western? Weird? One piece of, off-the-wall electronica, old-time, really, really, 20s sounding music that could have been in, the Shining ballroom sequence, acoustic guitar, kind of melding with the Western flavors, laid-back synth jazz. And there seems to be one particular theme in the film that kind of moves throughout it, and it's this really, all the music is very laid back. It's some of it is ballad like, and some of it is emotional. It's very, very interesting music in this film. So when we look at this music, it is wall to wall in here, and it's filled, and it's a great diversity. There's a great diversity of music, and sometimes that music will really mimic some of the editing that's happening in the film. Now, his editing in this movie is really, um, really in your face. Carlos is doing scene changes, and I've mentioned this before that he likes to do different things with scene changes, but in this film, he will take the camera and it'll just kind of spin around like this, and then the next scene will happen. And he'll also do those famous shots of um, the outside of a house, like in Love Champions, he did it too. He also did it a little bit in Milan versus Serena, but the outside of a house with cars parked there, and then kind of you go into the house. And he also does these things in Boiling Desires that I find very interesting, where he'll do a cut of a scene, maybe spin around like this, and then will continue on in the same sex scene that we were just watching. And that is very interesting. It's very unique, and switching positions, yeah, maybe you'll see a new position of the existing sex act, but sometimes not. Sometimes not. Now, he also has some fast motion in this film where, fast motion undressing and the beginnings of sex, and then all of a sudden going to the other couple having sex in another room, and it's regular motion with a different piece of music. So really, really, unique. Now, Carlos is really doing some wild stuff with the cinematography in Boiling Desires. You will, the camera will completely just suck in every ounce of these girls' bodies from head to toe. The camera will sometimes glide and move from the ground up, from the feet to the head, and just take in all the bodies. And he's also doing some very, very hot close-ups in this film. He's doing some extreme close-ups in this movie, sexually speaking, in particular from the butt angle during intercourse with the woman on top, and really getting some unbelievable shots. If you're a butt fan, then you're definitely going to love this movie. Now, the two girls in this film are interesting because one is pretty skinny, and the other one has, kind of more meat on her. And they have two different body types, and those two different body types bring two different types of sexuality in the film. And I loved the thicker one in the movie. She was definitely my favorite, but they were both awesome. Now, we also have a flashback sequence in this film at the beginning of the movie, kind of detailing the popping of the cherry of the one girl who was not a virgin any longer, where we get a cameo from Mr. Ron Jeremy. Other than that, the interesting thing is that there are really only four characters in this film. Carlos Tobalina is known a lot of the time when I watch his films. There are tons of people in his movies. There are so many actors in his movies, and he'll have orgies, and it'll be crazy. This is a very intimate film, and as the music is intimate, and the music has a piece of emotional intimacy to it, the film itself is intimate with only really four people in it. We are detailing seemingly a few days in the life of these two girls, and their sex with the guys that they're meeting. They will have the sex outside of their home, but when it comes into the home and the guys get there for the first time, that's when the sex takes on diversity. And it's interesting because theme-wise in the movie, we're definitely having the free love aspect, and a lack of jealousy, and an open mind. And there's even a bit of humor in the film where you can see that the director, Carlos Tobalina, is, playing with kind of the commonalities of adult cinema in the dialogue. And the dialogue, there are a couple hilarious moments. One at this like kind of, it looks like a homemade restaurant, where they decide to just go have sex, go fuck. But then the way that it's said, they go, let's, you want to go fuck or something like that. It was just hilarious, the transition there, and you could see he was having some fun with that. Now, this is a film of sex. Sex is the substance of this film, and Carlos will be heavy on the sex scenes, but the sex scenes are awesome. They're great. They're great to witness all the different positions, the emotions. He will be a lot of the times going from the one couple to the other couple, from the one couple to the other couple until things start to combine, shall we say, in their relationships. Towards the end of the film, there's also some very interesting dialogue that's almost it's almost, yeah, in a way somewhat connective or intimate, where the one guy says, "Oh, I missed you," when he shared the girl, you know, with his friend. You know, I missed you. You know, it was interesting the way that was done, and this is a film where the plot is sex. The plot, and the style and the substance is sex, and there are a variety of sexual encounters in this film. But like I said, over the span of a couple of days, not that much dialogue in the film either. We also have the two girls doing some lesbian stuff with each other, kind of before the guys come over for their next sex day, and also some masturbation in the film as well, with a variety of toys, which was also very entertaining, even in the way that they were talking about it. And there, definitely plays off of the virginal vibe. Also, there's this really legit scene as one of the guys was a virgin too, which was kind of a crazy plot twist to me. But one of the guys was a virgin too, and he ended up with the virgin as well initially when they first met. And it's that sex scene that I thought was so legit. I mean, as they were both playing virgins who were like gonna go for it, and even it was innocent. It was off kilter. It was a little uncomfortable. Be careful. Even in the flashback scene of her friend with her math teacher and the way that she lost her virginity, be careful, be careful. Don't go in all the way. It's these scenes that really have some reality to them. And also, we have a character just saying, "I have to go to the bathroom." Oh, it was really hard to go to the bathroom with a hard on. And now I'm thinking back at Love Champions, which was another film that I reviewed in this YouTube page, where a character leaves kind of a sex scene saying, "I gotta go to the bathroom." So it's like really interesting. Is that Carlos's humor, or is that just part of the reality of the situation? They actually have to go to the bathroom, and he just kept it in the movie. Boiling Desires is hot, it's erotic, it's interesting, it's a true sex show, a true of these two girls and two guys, and great shots and angles. And the thicker girl was definitely my favorite. I thought she looked amazing, but they were both great. It's true 80s vibes in this movie, folks. This is 87, true 80s vibes, 80s outfits when they're on, no panties, 80s furniture and atmospheres. If you're looking for 80s X-rated, Boiling Desires, folks, here it is, 1987. Carlos Tobalina. There it is, folks. I don't know who that is in the poster, but that poster is amazing. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like 1987's Boiling Desires. Thank you so much, and good night.